All right, a lot has been said about the design of the Hope Point Tower proposal for the riverfront in Providence, and a lot has been said about the 600-foot height of the residential tower, but not a lot has been said about what the residences would look like and who might be attracted to buy a condominium in the tower. And that's why Mark Murphy's here with us today. He's the editor of the Providence Business News. Those questions are answered in the cover story of the current edition of the newspaper, in print and online. And this has not gotten a lot of attention until this interview. This is going to be eye-opening for a lot of people. For example, how much is it going to cost?
Well, you know, in these kinds of transactions, you look at what is the cost per square foot. And so we looked at other high-rise condominiums, the residences, which are on top of part of the Omni Hotel, and Water Place, which has 2 towers. And the average is in the $300 per square foot range. The highest one, most recently, the highest sale was about a little over $400 per square foot. So it was $1.9 million for that condominium.
All right, that's one condominium in another of the towers in Providence, $1.9 million, and that's the highest price. And how much more are these Hope Point Tower condos expected to go for?
Well, those prices will vary by the size, but again, the way we look at it and the way that people who are selling it look at it is what per square foot. And we have people who are sort of consultants and who look at real estate experts, and they think that the minimum price may be close to $800 per square foot, going up to $1,000 per square foot, depending on what the view is and how high it is. So people project that it will be at least twice as expensive to be living in the Hope Point Tower than it would be the other high-rise condos in the city.
So $4 million for at least some of the condos?
Oh, I think, well beyond that, Frank.
Wow. And parking is separate, right? You have to buy it.
That's right. Parking is separate. There are a lot of amenities. There'll be a high-class workout facility. I mean, the public space, group spaces will be nice. And, of course, the view will be spectacular. But it's not going to be cheap.
Who would buy a condo at that price? There must be some studies on that. Or Jason Fane, the developer, must have an idea.
Well, he's had experience in other markets, Toronto, some in New York City, and of course, Toronto is a huge city. He built a 47-story tower there, which he said is not even the tallest in the neighborhood. But if you look at those other places, those other locations, they're much bigger, and you have, sort of a lot of folks who have a lot of money to spend on it. He's banking on international buyers, not just local buyers. And there are some people who might be in Water Place who can afford to move up to the Hope Point Tower, but certainly there aren't going to be enough people to fill out, I think it's 400 residences.
Yeah,
there.
448 units, according to your article, now to be sold as condominiums. Originally, they were going to be rented as apartments, but not his plan now is condos.
Yeah, and he's hoping that by the time it opens, all of them will be sold.
And if they don't sell?
Well, he'll go back and he'll do what they did at Water Place and what they did at the residences. He'll, lease them and, rent them out. I mean, he's going to need some cash flow just to take care of all the financing that's going to go into this, because what is it, a $300 million project?
Yeah.
So it has to be financed, and those bills, they come due pretty fast.
Like I said, this article is going to be eye-opening for a lot of people. There's much more about it in the current edition of the Providence Business News, in print and online. This week's edition also has the C-Suite supplement. You had an awards ceremony last week for the top COOs in area companies.
Well, COOs and also chief marketing officers, a chief customer officer. So these are the people who help make CEOs look good. And so they take care of the details.
All right. And we thank you very much, Mark Murphy, for joining us today on Coffee Break.
Thank you, Frank.